When I decided my life was missing an iPad Pro, there was one issue above all others I struggled with. What size of Apple's tablet should I get? I scoured the internet, looked through videos, but there wasn't a single place that sated my desires for this question. So this video is to right that wrong and help you choose the perfect sized iPad Pro. A short disclaimer before we begin. This whole video is working on the assumption that you're set on the iPad Pro, because if I'm being completely frank and honest, I think the iPad Air is probably the best Apple tablet for most people. It's cheaper than its Pro counterpart, it can do many of the same things, it supports the Magic Pencil. The only thing it doesn't really have is the M1 chip, which is in the new iPad Pro range. But when Apple seems set on ensuring iPad OS cannot really compete with a computer operating system, this isn't going to be a concern for most people. But I get it, I wanted an iPad Pro over an Air too, so without any further ado, let's just chat about what's fresh with the 2021 iPad Pros. In our Lord's year of 2021, the post-midst COVID maelstrom, Apple released two new iPad Pros, the 11-inch and the 12.9-inch. Now, the major updates here are the introduction of the aforementioned M1 chip and a new screen on the 12.9-inch iPad. The M1 chip is the same that appeared in Apple's brand new laptops at the end of last year and set unbelievable precedents for speed and performance, but that is in both iPad Pros. Really, we should talk now about the difference between the two of them. Really, apart from the size, the weight, and the price, the major difference between the 11-inch and 12.9-inch iPad Pros is the screen. The 11-inch has a Liquid Retina LCD, while the 12.9-inch has a Liquid Retina XDR with mini LEDs. We could spend all day deep diving into the stats, but the fundamental truth of the matter is that our new iPad Pro 12.9-inch screen is just better than the 11-inch one. It's sharper, it has better contrast, deeper blacks, more vibrant colors, and it can really take advantage of HDR content. With that summary out of the way, let's get to the meat, the core, the steaming insides of the video. And how we're going to do that is we're going to get you to think about what you're going to use your new iPad Pro for, and then try and tailor the size recommendation for that. So let's get into it. Obviously, the screen is the most important part of the iPad Pro or any iPad or tablet in general, but what I'm talking about here is if you're using the iPad Pro specifically for professional tasks, if you're going to be doing mainly video editing or photo work, then you want to choose the 12.9. Look, the 11-inch screen is still fantastic, it's sharp and perfect for browsing, but if you're a professional or really desperate to watch lots of HDR videos, then you've got to go with the 12.9-inch. This one is more about the day-to-day. How do you see yourself using the iPad? If you're in environments where you're on your feet all the time, using it with one hand, even laying down on the sofa and doing a lot of reading that way, then you're probably going to want to go for the 11-inch. It is just a far better magazine, compact size style tablet that is a breeze to use in, maybe uncomfortable, less standard positions and sitting at a desk. 12.91 is lovely, but it's a little bit too unwieldy to be walking around while you're only using a single hand. Are you a writer? Are you going to be spending hours and hours crafting the written word using your iPad? Then, friend, make sure you go for the 12.9-inch iPad. It's perfectly possible to write with the 11-inch one, but only for emails or short messages or chats or anything like that, because the keyboard is too small to comfortably get your hands on for hours on time. Look, if you're crafting a novel and you want to use an iPad Pro for it, do yourself a favor and get the 12.9-inch. Okay, I wouldn't recommend choosing your iPad over a computer. iPad OS is not up to scratch when it comes to actually replacing a laptop or desktop. But if you are willing to take that leap, definitely get the 12.9 inch. The 11 inch is beautiful and compact, but if you're going to need to multitask or do an array of different activities, the larger iPad Pro is going to be the one for you. If you're after something that is more a complement to your phone and computer, something on the side, in how I use mine effectively is like a couch computer, then go for the 11 inch. It fits between the boundary of those aforementioned devices far better, and it's just a joy to use when you're lazing about on the sofa or just pottering about your house doing what you will. The 11 inch, gorgeous, compact, perfect. While we go, it'd be remiss if I didn't at least give a quick note on the amount of storage you should get on your new iPad Pro. In my mind, there is literally no reason why you should go for the top range, 2 terabytes, unless for some crazy reason you're working with insanely huge video files on your iPad Pro. Instead, for most people, I would recommend the 256 to 512 gigabytes. But even then, that might be overkill for most people. If you're uncertain of what to do, what I'd recommend is just making a quick list of what you plan to actually be storing on the iPad and then choosing something that fits your preferences. Good luck. Both iPad Pros are delicious devices, but if I'm being frank and honest, the 11 inch is my favorite size. It's just gorgeously compact and is that ideal bridge between a phone and a desktop or laptop. But until Apple manages to get that Liquid Retina XDR display into the smaller iPad Pro, it is always going to lag behind its bigger brother. Still, the whole point of this video is to be a guide to help you out on your journey on choosing the perfect iPad Pro for you and what you need it for. And at the end of the day, no matter what decision you make, the new iPads are absolutely fantastic. Whichever one you choose, there's one thing I guarantee, you will love it. That is us done for today's video. If you would like to find out more, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also check the comments and the description below to find a link to the full article. And if you look at the top comment, well, you can subscribe to our newsletter as well. Go on, you know you want to. Until next time, all that's left to say is au revoir.